welcome back everybody. Today we are bringing you the CSL match between CMU and U of T for the round of 16 match, I believe, in the playoffs for the 50,000 or for a chance to make it to the $50,000 LAN qualifier or LAN finals in Toronto. I am Zingle, and joining me today once again is Hachiko.
What is up, everybody?
So, what do we know about these teams, Hachiko?
So we casted CMU a couple weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, and they were playing against Harvard, and they showed promise, I would say. But Toronto, they did receive a bye in the first round, and they're undefeated so far in this season overall, as Carnegie Mellon's record is reading this as 4-9
Yeah,
in the
they're
season.
rocking a rougher record for sure than Toronto.
So we definitely have to give the favor here to Toronto, looking strong. They've shown they were able to win against Carnegie Mellon in the past as well, but you never know. This is a best of three to decide who will go to the Epic Eight or Elite Eight. I don't know what we're calling it, but
Both work.
I mean, a lot on the line here, but I'd say I'm gonna have to give this one to Toronto, but I wouldn't be surprised if Carnegie Mellon take one game off of them,
Yeah,
though.
their game record does give them a little bit of a, statistical edge or whatever, but, this is CSL, anything can happen, and that's what we're here to watch. With this game starting up just now, we're going to quickly give you a plug from our sponsors, give a little shout out, and then get back to it right after the game, because we don't want to miss any of this great game. Before we start, we are hiring a social media manager on CSL staff. Head over to cstarleague.com for more information. Furthermore, there is a new Midwest campus clash with 25K on the line. I believe it's League of Legends and Madden. The tournament is going to be underway this weekend, the final starting April 8th, I believe. And you can find more by typing !clash in chat. Furthermore, we would like to thank Band as a sponsor. They are an incredible sponsor. They're a social app that's the primary social app of CSL, and they have many features that, just facilitate the community behind collegiate Dota or collegiate esports in general. They allow you to create groups, boards, calendar function, polls, chats, call functionality, and, it's just a premier social experience that allows you and fellow gamers to, band together. You can find out more at band.us/home or find them on the Google Play or App Store. And you can also find us at the CSL community at band.us/@cstarleague, and you can find the admins at their office hours at that site between 6 and 7 p.m. Pacific time. Furthermore, we would like to thank Twitch. We are streaming on this site because they are an incredible large streaming platform that has really been supportive of the collegiate gaming esports community. From PAX East and West and many other events, CSL would not be what it is today without the help and support from them. So be on the lookout for cool opportunities to get involved in the near future with Twitch, and you can show them love and support on their social media, twitter.com/twitch and facebook.com/twitch. And last but not least, we would love to welcome Asus to the family. They are new in this 2016-27 season, but they are definitely big players. They provide everything esports from all the products, such as monitors, laptops, routers, graphics cards, motherboards, and more. Don't enter your next battle unless you're equipped with Asus. And another thing to note with Asus is they're actually sponsoring a contest within CSL. Last year they gave away a ROG gaming laptop, and this year they're upping the ante and they're giving away 3 of them to the best video creators from the community that highlight anything to do with college esports. And not only that, but they're giving away boxes of swag and additional $500 prize to the top 5 clubs who provide the most entries into the competition. So even though you might not be, a prime or practiced filmmaker, you can still help your club, win big. So you can find out more at the C-Star League website. All you have to do is make a video. It's not too much, and it's a great chance. So with that, we're going to give a quick video plug, and then start up. This draft is underway, so hope we didn't miss too much. Alrighty. Here we are. Okay. Back into the draft. This is game one between CMU and U of T. Can you catch us up on what I missed out during the quick intros, Hachiko?
All right, so I was watching the draft here, and it looks like CMU don't want to really reveal their strategy quite yet. They do ban out the Monkey King, is a very annoying hero to deal with, and I think the U of T players play it. I've recognized one of their players in a pub play Monkey King, I think. So either that or they're just taking out the hero. It's a safe ban overall if you're not sure. But the thing about CMU is they picked the Centaur Silencer, so that gives them very heavy initiation, and it already says what they're doing. While on the CMU, we don't know much of anything from their draft from their first two. What would you think they can go for here with the Warlock Rubik dual support?
I don't know. Like the whole concept of Silencer is that you provide a very clean start to a fight or a clean, reinitiation. And Rubik and Warlock both kind of lose to that. Because if you're, a Centaur, Stampede, Blinken, Stun, and Silencer ult, you can't steal spells and turn it around as Rubik. You can't, link everyone together and drop the rock and stop that. So it's really just it provides that quick punch for the side of U of T. So CMU might be looking for something to stall that out, survive that first initial wave, or they could even look to be the aggressors. And if you force Silencer to use the ult defensively every time, it really puts you in a good spot because you no longer have to worry about the, deaths that you can't prevent. If Centaur jumps on somebody and they have the burst damage and Silencer ults, there's no way you prevent that. So I was going to say you might see an Abaddon come out from CMU because that is one hero that can easily, frontline and survive that, first burst. But they do opt for Darkseer here. And it looks like they might just be going for that team fight. They're saying we don't care if you have the Silencer Centaur who are very good at stopping team fights. We're just gonna outplay it.
And there you go, Lifestealer picked up by U of T. No big surprise there. They're kind of want to just go in there and burst with the Silencer as well as the Centaur. CMU still do not have an answer for this. Darkseer, not a very popular hero right now in the off lane. Haven't seen him picked up by most teams. Kind of getting outclassed, as you said before, by the Abaddon. Does kind of the same thing, saves heroes earlier than the Darkseer, who needs to farm up his mech. Of course, the Surge is always useful, especially against a Lifestealer, but I feel like Darkseer just comes online a bit too slow.
Compared to all these other offlaners that have kind of made their debut in this recent meta, because the offlane had that change where, most heroes, you just get a PMS, you have these tanky initiators or tanky heroes like Abaddon, Centaur, Magnus, who can't really just lose a lane outright, and even if they do, they can just go jungle. Darkseer definitely has taken a hind seat. And against Lifestealer, you don't even do that well as Darkseer. Lifestealer, if you play it well, if you use Rage, if you use your open wounds, and then, your passive, which is just nice for sustaining against the Ion Shells, you can handle that lane without a big problem, and that's one of the big reasons you pick Darkseer is that you're such a lane dominator and nuisance.
I got the Lifestealer Slaughter combination.
That's a classic.
In the second two.
I abused that to climb MMR. I got pretty high with it, but that was also back when Slaughter played as offlane. I don't even remember the last time I've seen this hero in the offlane. We see it in the support role nowadays. It looks like it's going to be a 4-role support this game, with Silencer likely as a 5-role. We could see a Silencer mid. I have seen that, rise in popularity, but I doubt it. They wouldn't pick it second phase, or first phase, second pick, I'd imagine.
Stormbend out, so CMU agreeing on that. I feel like for their mid hero here, they want something that can get in there in the front line. Against this Lifestealer. Because if they pick like a squishy backline hero, he's just gonna get jumped and die. Unless Jug it here.
Well, why do you think they banned Storm? Is it just because the Lifestealer Infest combo? Is it because they maybe want to Tinker? Tinker is often the primary reason people ban Storm, but I guess with Lifestealer picked up, you don't want 3 Infest targets for Lifestealer, because then you have to play the guessing game while trying to counter-initiate or stay alive. It's just not good.
Maybe an Invoker pick by CMU.
Yeah, Invoker could be good. Uh, Surprisingly, against the Lifestealer, it does well despite Lifestealer having the magic immunity. You can just kite and escape so well. But unfortunately, against Silencer, having the Arcane Curse, I believe it's called, on you, that just never goes away because Invoker lives and thrives off of spamming spells and spamming buttons. And there you have it, the Tinker ban.
I do suspect the Tinker ban. And
Yep.
with the last pick here, they don't get to see what CMU have, so they're just gonna pick a mid that they feel will fit well. I mean, potential mids here, I would say TAs are a pretty safe pick. Doesn't
TA.
really have that hard of a matchup against a lot of heroes, but no Alchemist.
I was,
Alright, the last pick, Alchemist going on.
I was gonna say
Oh
TA
my.
would be a little bit rough because Juggernaut, Darkseer, Warlock all have like those
Oh
rapid
yeah,
ticks of damage, but it would have amplified their physical damage output and just been a very very big nuisance. But with that Alchemist pick, we've seen this come back into relevancy recently.
I don't get to see that too much. Darkseer against TA, that's a very good matchup actually.
All right.
Last pick, Alchemist. We're in
I
for a
like
game.
I like the draft from U of T. They have no way to deal with Alchemist right now. The only real burst they have is from Juggernaut right now, and Juggernaut does not do particularly well against all of those scores. But there's a good response. That's an OD last pick mid. Great team fight. We were talking about the Darkseer Warlock combo earlier. You have OD ultimate as well to amplify that up. And then OD versus Elk mid. You can't just sit there and trade hits with OD, otherwise, OD will just go for the Arcane Orb build and just steal all of your intelligence. And Elk is a hero that already has pretty low. So.
The no stun lineup is going to be rough against U of T right now.
Both.
Not being able to keep the Alchemist in place, or even like any of these heroes like the Slaughter, you can go in there, get a crush, run out, run back in. Their best bet here is just to get a nice vacuum into good fatal bonds and just dish out a ton of damage as fast as possible before they get kited. It's going to be really up to this Jug keeping up in farm. He has to
not keep up. I think he has to stay ahead this game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He has to be like keep up. I mean by keeping up with the Alchemist. Like he has to be almost like equal in farm to the Alchemist. That's rough, especially without a Magnus.
That's a tall ask. I don't know if that's even possible. If Alchemist
it's possible if you have like a Magnus and you go Battle Fear or something like that.
But speaking of Magnus, was it banned out this game? I didn't notice.
Yeah,
I
it was
assume
banned
it
out
was.
by
Okay.
U of T. They also banned out the Kato. And the strategy phase going through connection failure.
Nah, it's a bug.
I still don't know what causes that, but
All right. Well, with the game underway, Game 1, CMU versus Toronto. From the draft, is there a team that you think comes out ahead?
I'm definitely favoring U of T right now. As you said before, CMU don't have any way to deal with this Alchemist, and if he gets farmed, it's pretty much over, I would say, and very quickly at that. Like it could happen in one fight where we see the Alch just run them down onto their high ground, and they can't kill him.
Alright, some quick intros with all these TPs coming out. Some action might start quickly, but on the side of CMU, we have Blank playing the Warlock, TPing into lane, being scouted out, both U of T Death and him scouting each other. But Warlock playing the support by Blank. We have Chinese Name playing the Juggernaut. We have Silence Suzuka playing the offlane Darkseer. Rox, I was going to say Roka. Rox on the support Rubik, and Public Player on the mid OD. From the side of U of T, we have Innovation on the Slardar, we have U of T Death on the Silencer, KY on the Lifestealer, Sir Inferno, spelled sillily, on the mid Alchemist, and FXT on the offlane Centaur. So I'm really liking recently how we've seen so many teams prioritize these TPing, right as the game starts to get these deep wards and early wards out. It's something we see in the pro scene a lot, and in the CSL tournament. I mean, we haven't seen it as much, but I guess as the tournament gets later, the teams just overall are better, the ones that are remaining, so they are the ones that adapt those strategies a lot more readily.
I like how in pubs people started doing a lot more as well. I think it's like something that's just catching on. It's some like a long time ago, it was something that only pros did, but with like the cost of TP reduced, especially, you just people see people doing a lot more to get nice wards off, be able to block camps as well. It's pretty critical.
Yeah, it seems like only one of the wards got dewarded so far. I think it was that Silencer versus Warlock matchup we saw at the very start.
Yep, the silencer saw the warlock drop his wards. So.
But fortunately, I think Darkseer pinged out that lane ward with their own ward bottom. So I think CMU actually used 2 wards in this bottom lane, which is a little bit untraditional. But it'll be okay. I think they just want to prioritize stopping this Lifestealer, giving him a really bad game because he doesn't do too well from behind. And then using their team fight, combo just to deal with the other heroes like Alchemist and Centaur.
They're dueling mid, or they're dueling mid at this point in time. The warlock is spamming Shadow Word on now. Yep.
That's so annoying as an Elk player. Oh wow, Thur is that first blood top. I did not expect him to go down at level 1, but with a nice lift and spin combo, they dove under tower and got him.
What I was gonna say next is, surprisingly, Jug and the Rubik do have kill potential into the Slaughter.
Centaur?
Centaur, yeah. I mean. Because of the lift spin that's a ton of damage at level 1.
And the move speed advantage is for Jug, if only by 5, it's enough to like keep up on him. I just didn't expect it to happen because 660 health is way more than the 400 health that spin, or 400 damage that spin does at level 1. But if they harass down the Centaur nicely and pull him back in the creep wave, which I believe is what happened. But yeah, this mid matchup right now, it is 7-4 on the OD. Now 8-4 on the OD against 1-0 on this Elk. So having your Warlock start mid and getting a first blood top, this is exactly what CMU wants if they want to have any sort of shot at this mid to late game against the Alchemist Lifestealer.
I'm gonna force this Shrine out from the Slaughter as well. I don't think he needed to Shrine there, but he used it. Now the Centaur won't have it for later. He is at full HP and mana right now, so I don't think he cares too much right now, but see a lift spin on him and he's gonna be wanting that Shrine.
So, despite that kill happening in the top lane, Centaur has 12-0 CS and Jug only has 5-1. So I think that's actually not even a big deal for this Centaur to feed first blood like that because he's just dominating this lane. He's getting pretty much full XP. He just died and TP'd back immediately. And I guess he fed first blood, so there's a little bit of money going the way of Jug, but Jug is missing over half the CS.
Yeah, he left the lane to go for that Slaughter kill as well. That's mostly what caused this CS discrepancy. I wouldn't say the kill contributed too much to it. He might have missed a couple of CS for that, but definitely going for that Slaughter, not killing him. And now the Centaur is just level 3. They can't even pull the lane back anymore because, well, they can at this point because the camp just spawned, but their big camp is blocked. And keeping both the supports here, they're doing pretty much nothing at this point. I would like to see either Rubik or the Warlock rotate out. Maybe continue to put pressure on Alchemist or help out the Darkseer, something like that, because they're not doing anything at this point.
Yeah, this Darkseer was just getting ganked bottom by the Slaughter, but he sniffed out the gank with that, I believe it was the ward that scouted out. No, maybe it was just good game sense, because he TP'd in the tree line before that gank got anywhere near him. So bottom lane, I think it's content, or this Darkseer is content as things are. He's not really winning the lane outright. He's still only level 2. He doesn't quite have his soul ring yet, even though he can afford it. He can't safely get to the side shop. But as long as he's keeping this Lardar off the map, or not off the map, but off of his other lanes, I think he's okay with it. The problem is, like you were saying, for CMU, they really need to slap this Alchemist. Yes, that first wave or two helping him was nice, but we've all seen Alchemists come back from nothing and just become a nuisance.
His farm actually still doesn't look that good. Still only has 10 CS. At this point, he wants to get level 5 and just rotate in the jungle, but there's no stacks for him quite yet. I think he tried jungling at some point. If you look at the medium camp bottom here, it did take a bit of damage, but until he gets that level 3 acid spray, the jungle is not that efficient.
And I like how this OD went a value point in his orb. Typically we see mid ODs just max the Astral Imprisonment, get some of the aura so you can sustain it a little bit better, but maxing your orb really does give you a little bit extra oomph against the melee Alchemist.
Rocks might go down here top.
Yep, goes a little bit too deep. I think he was trying to ward No, he didn't even try to ward. He was just walking in a weird path away from one of the heroes and just got caught between a rock and a hard place with that TP
They TP'd
rotation.
onto the shrine and
Yeah.
caught him off guard. He thought he would be okay there with help of the Warlock, who actually put a value point in a Pivo. I don't think he's gonna continue to put points into it. Fatal Bonds is just too good of a spell.
Right. Fatal Bonds, we usually see people maxing it even. Sometimes,
Yeah.
I'd say more often than not, you see the Shadow Ward max, but the fact that Fatal Bonds has come back in such a convincing manner where people occasionally max it first, makes me question why he's skipping it entirely right now. I guess he's only level 2, so I shouldn't say entirely, but it's a little bit of a questionable play. Did he skill it to try to save his Rubik there? I wasn't...
Potentially.
I think that was the idea, but I'm not sure if it really worked out.
Odie is maxing Astral.
He's makes
with
sense.
1 point in Essence. I don't know. Usually I see 1-2-2 or 2-1-2 even.
Alright, a little fight at this top rune going for the bounty. We have Innovation and Centaur both trying to catch up to Blank, but the stun misses from Centaur, and it looks like Slaughter just gonna trade some hits and realize he's in too deep.
Odie gonna rotate in, try for a kill.
Yeah, with the Invis, I believe. Yes, he did have an Invis. He gets a quick lift onto Slardar, and then the Zap will come in, finish him off. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Juggernaut is spinning down the Centaur. He will get really low, but has to turn around right at the last second because the stomp under the tower could have spelled death for him.
So, as of now, CMU's early game still looking pretty decent. On the bot lane, the Darkseer actually isn't doing too hot, and it's the one lane they're losing kind of hard at this point. But as for the mid lane, they're still looking very good. Alchemist is not being the most efficient with his farming, as I think he could have rotated out of the jungle earlier. He didn't put 3 points in Acid Spray, and he's just farming the jungle very slowly now.
And he fails a stack right there. This is definitely not the best game for an Alchemist. At 7 minutes, he doesn't have any of his armlet components. And I think that's going to be one of the key things to look out for this game, and for this matchup in particular, is when you get that armlet, and when you get the Radiance. And normally by 7 minutes, if you've had a good lane or if you've had okay jungle farm, you should have it by now at 7 minutes. And the fact that he has no components, it's looking grim.
Yeah, this doesn't look like an experienced Alchemist spammer. They might have just thought it was a very good last pick, and even though Sir Inferno wasn't that comfortable on the hero, I think it would still work out for them. And of course, they have the whole game ahead of them. His farm is affected right now, and I wonder if CMU will be able to punish them for maybe getting a little bit less farm the Alchemist than they should out of the map. As I said, if the Jug can keep up in farm with the Alchemist, then he's doing a okay job of that right now. He's ahead, about 300 gold. Keeps this up, man.
This isn't really when the Alchemist ramps up. Yes, he's had a little bit of a bad start, but once he has, minute 10 to 20 in that jungle or just in lanes free farm, he will skyrocket. And now with his triple stack bottom, he's a happy man now.
Yeah, still 2 points in Acid Spray, so he's gonna get more gold. But I mean, actually, he's still clearing out pretty well.
Yeah.
Alright, not bad, not bad.
All those small creeps. He got 3 pretty good spawns where they all had 2 of the small creeps instead of getting like the 2 ogres or something.
He's maxing his Grievous Greed all the way, actually.
Yeah, I've seen both 40 and 402 and 204. It really depends. Normally you see the 204 if you're not going to be jungling, but since he's jungling, I'd imagine a 402 would be better. But like we said, it's really up to him. You get more points
from bounty rune like this. Oh, bot lane. You're gonna see them go onto the Darkseer. Surge gonna get him away pretty easily.
Yeah, it's a nice counter to open wounds. Just surge yourself out, give yourself max speed.
And the thing about this Alchemist build is you get more gold from the bounty runes, I believe.
Nope. They changed that in 7.0, where it's just 2 at all levels.
Oh no, it's only 2 at all levels. Never mind. So
that was why in 7.0, at least at the start of it, people thought that this hero was going to be irrelevant now. That was part of the reason. That and the fact that jungle camps spawn half as frequently, even though there are a few more of them across the map. You don't really want to be running to every single camp. But yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, so I actually don't see the value in this unless you're farming a big stack. So it did help him out there, so... I mean, I guess they planned that, but we're gonna see them go on to public player in the mid lane now. He's just gonna be able to Astro and run away.
Yeah, this OD has had a very nice time in this mid lane, and we actually might see him go for the Midas start, just to kind of stay ahead or stay even in net worth. And since he's had such a dominant lane, I guess the net worth doesn't show it anymore because he's over 1,000 net worth behind the Alchemist because, you know, Alchemist doing Alchemist things. He's still had a pretty nice lane so far.
He has a lot of denies. 32.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. That's actually pretty silly. He has 80 CS almost in total at minute 10, but almost half of them are just denies. His CS is actually pretty low, all things considered. And we see a pretty sneaky smoking coming out of this top lane tri lane. Juggernaut has his ultimate up, and they're going to look for a kill, maybe onto the Alchemist. They're going to narrowly run by and just miss the Centaur, but the pings are coming out for Alchemist, and I'm not sure if they're going to catch him because he's playing very safe. He has his armlet now, and he's on the high ground.
Well, looks like Centaur gonna go down instead. Or not, Slardar.
Slardar, yeah. Centaur ult's getting him out, though. The ult spin comes out, and he just...
Alchemist is alone here, but they don't have stun for him, so he's gonna walk away.
And that is not what CMU wanted to happen there. It's not what they needed at all. They wanted to kill on Alchemist, kind of gimp that early timing of the Radiance, but they don't accomplish any kills. They waste time on their safe laner while the Centaur just took over the lane top. They used Omni Slash, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's really just the economical disadvantage they get from that.
They're gonna take the mid tower with it either. They barely do any damage, so... pretty big blunder. They're not getting a kill or at all. Maybe if they got a kill, they could do more damage to this tower, but Centaur ultimate getting them out there, and I said that in the drafting phase where their lack of stuns is going to hurt them.
Blank going a little deep to try to get a ward. I think he just baited out some fake dewarding, maybe because there were pings from that silencer saying this cliff might be warded now.
And probably one reason why Blank did decide to go for 1 point upheaval here. He realizes their lack of disable, and if you can set that up, it's a pretty decent slow, even at level 1. They're going to need anything they can get at this point in time. As we see Jug potentially in trouble in the top lane.
That's a very scary combo to go up against. The dual stuns from Centaur and Slardar. That's up to 4 point something seconds of chain stun if they get it off correctly, and the burst damage from the double edge. They will get the Juggernaut there. And now Centaur, he has the pipe, or he has the hood, sorry, not the full pipe, and he's only 1,000 gold off of his Blink Dagger. So it's not really a super scary or super surprising timing, but it will be very nice for their infest combos. And with the armlet being up on Lifestealer, he is very content at any point in the game to just start fighting.
Darkseer, not very farmed in his offlane. Compare him to the Centaur, and Centaur has 1,000 gold on him. And it's pretty surprising, as Darkseer is a hero that you can consider that farms pretty quickly, but he's just not having the best time here against the Lifestealer, as you mentioned before. Yep. It's not a very good matchup for him, especially once his Lifestealer gets levels. He can't do anything to contest the lane anymore.
Yep, Lifestealer just 3-hitting the creeps that have Iron Shell and moving on his day as if nothing happened with the, 3 different spells that potentially can heal him up if anything goes wrong. And the one that provides a magic immunity. Like, the hero is just a little bit silly. But I like him for a reason. He's strong. He does well against a lot of the heroes in this game. Against OD, it's nice because you have the magic immunity, you have the slow, but OD could just use the imprisonment to stall out the rage duration and just turn it around on him. Meanwhile, in this top lane,
dropped in the top lane.
Yeah, Golem and Omni Slash used to kill the Centaur. He did get the ult right before that happened, and now Innovation going a little bit too deep, and he will just tick down to the Shadow Word max build from this Golem, or from Warlock and the Golem's right clicks.
And I think CMU, that was very good for them. They need to take towers away from U of T right now. The less towers the Alchemist has, the less safe he can farm in his jungle. He doesn't know where you're approaching from.
They're going to go right for a tier 2 here. They know Centaur doesn't have ultimate, so they lift him up and they throw him right back. He gets imprisoned.
Oh, stolen Centaur ultimate from
stall
the
for a little bit. One more right click, they will get him. Slardar goes in with the stun, kills the Warlock in return. So far it's a 1-for-1 in this top lane, but meanwhile Alchemist is going to take the mid tier 1. Lifestealer is just farming away, and these two heroes are leading in net worth. And now actually the kill goes, or the CMU team goes for a little bit more. They get another kill on Slardar using the OD ultimate. Now that's all of their ultimates used, and they're going to hopefully get at least the tier 2 out of it.
Yeah, if they get this tier 2, it's gonna be, I'd say, kind of worth it here, but it looks like they will, so not too bad from CMU there. Losing their mid tower to the Alchemist, and he's continuing to free farm, gonna have his Radiance in, I would say, a minute not by now.
Yep, only 1,000 away, and that's the issue with this 5-man early push. Yes, you get towers, yes, you get map control, but these 2 towers that they got probably control the least amount of farm for Alchemist. And Alchemist, that entire time, from minute 5 to 15 now, he went from having no relic, or no armlet components at all at minute 7, to having a full armlet and almost a full Radiance. So I think they gave him a little bit too much space in these past 5 to 10 minutes. And now that they're starting to, you know, pump up the pressure, it might be just a little bit too late.
And KY was also just farming this entire time as well, and he's very close to his Deso.
This Lifestealer almost, yeah, that's very true. Oh, that's scary actually. A spin comes, or an ultimate comes out, a Silence saves the Slardar from that last little bit. If Silence wasn't there, Juggernaut could have just spinned, finished off the kill, and that stun wouldn't have saved them.
Well, they're running down towers at this point in time, which is okay, but this is going to hurt their experience as well as just overall farm. The thing is, they're going to take all the towers off the map, but it's what their plan is from there. It's going to determine whether they can win this game or not.
Yeah, if they can really corral the U of T team into their base, all of this will be worth it. But if at the end of the day they stay as 5 and they stay roaming around looking for kills, and Elk and Lifestealer and Slardar and Centaur all just farming by themselves elsewhere on the map, it's not going to be favorable trades for them.
They almost take the tier 2 here, and
they had to escape though. Juggernaut actually a little bit low. He barely dodges that Centaur stun, but this last word on Juggernaut could get him pretty low.
Oh, that wall is very nice. They got the Alchemist illusion with the Radiance. He's not microing at this point in time. He's actually gonna die to creeps. Well, that's unfortunate. I feel like they actually could have got that fight if he microed his illusion.
Yeah, maybe the mischance on it is very, very helpful for these early engagements.
And taking everyone down as well as they're Fatal bonded together.
That is, yeah. It is a early level in Fatal Bonds, so he only could get 3 units bound together, so it's, you know, half as effective as you get the 6, because it's, you know, percentage based, but still a nice little touch that they could have had for that fight. Maybe save the Darkseer a little bit more than just that Imprison could have.
There's a very nice looking wall, but then since he got gone afterwards, I think he was more focused on trying to keep his hero alive, and not realizing that he got a pretty strong illusion there.
Alright, so the state of the game right now, despite the tower advantage being, actually it's even, it's 3 for 3 if you don't count, you know, tier 1 versus tier 2 difference. I am pretty sure Toronto comes way out ahead so far. Like, Toronto, the top 2 net worths are on their team. We were saying that Lifestealer, or the Juggernaut, needs to stay at least on par or, you know, ahead maybe of some of these other cores. But not only is he far behind the Alchemist, he's behind the Lifestealer as well.
And this game he needs to be ahead of the Lifestealer. This is not very good for them at all.
It is a nice matchup for Juggernaut, typically the Lifestealer against Jug.
Yeah, but with the Slaughter on his team,
yeah, but not
this is what's going to happen. Yep. That was 3 or 4 hits and he's gone. And that was without the Amplified Damage or Corrosive Haze.
And Slardar's going to have his blink soon, so now they're going to have to be cautious of that secondary infest target on the side of CMU. If Lifestealer is inside the Slardar, they could blow up pretty much anybody.
Yeah, the thing about the Jug is, normally he could just split push freely, doesn't really need to worry too much, has that spin TP, but if the Slaughter comes out of Fog, stuns him before he can get the spin off, he's gonna die in that duration.
Or if Slardar gets a lucky bash.
Yeah, or if not, he just they kill him afterwards while he's spinning away. Like, there's no way he's getting away, even if he gets his spin off. That's what I'm trying to say.
The Amplify plus Desolator right clicks, the Lifestealer, or sorry, the Juggernaut will die in 2 clicks from the Lifestealer. And now with another gank bottom, CMU is doing very well at you know, securing these pick-off kills and turning them into a tower. As you see, they got the Slardar and they instantly have 5 heroes pinging out this tier 1. But at the same time, Toronto recognizes that that tower is just a lost cause, and they're pinging out both tier 2 mid and top lane, and both of their lanes are actually pushed right in. So this trade for CMU is going to be very bad if they commit for it.
They're TPing back to attempt to defend here, but Centaur ultimate gonna get U of T out maybe. Global Silence gonna be committed as well.
Yeah, a little bit odd time to commit it. It was only the OD TPing in and he just blinked away from that initiation. So the global was kind of baited there, and that came out ahead for CMU. They did take a lot of tower damage for their tier 2s, but they got the tier 1 bottom. They baited a global and they baited the Centaur ult. But I don't know if it's enough even still. CMU, they consistently are coming ahead in all these engagements, but as a whole on the map, Lifestealer is coming out ahead, this Alchemist is coming out ahead. Each individual like core on the side of Toronto is just playing the map better.
They're just playing it chill right now is the thing. Not really going for any infest ganks or anything that's too big. They did go for that one on the Jug, but Lifestealer just continuing to farm up, pushing this top wave. Alchemist doing the same in his jungle here. While we look at CMU, they're still 5-manning.
Yeah.
Are they going to try to go high ground here?
Yeah, I think they wisened up to the idea that despite all of these, like, you know, easy trades and nice little pickoffs and ults baited, they're not really gaining anything on the map. And the only way they can really force pressure, like true pressure on this Alchemist, is if by pushing high ground. That's something that you don't want to give up for free.
No, there's no global.
Yeah, no
Might
global,
get a
no
tier
Centaur
3
ult.
here. Oh no.
Centaur ult is up. They do manage to catch the Warlock, which is a big deal. He did not get his ultimate. He did get the Fatal Bonds. There will be an attempted reinitiation here. The Juggernaut's Omni Slash is going to be shared and tanked up by everybody, and now he is in a little bit too deep. He is going to go down here on the side in return for Slardar outside of the base. Or Slardar and Silencer outside the base. So far it's a 2 for 3, not really favorable for CMU. Rox, he realizes he's dead, so he's going to just play the bait distraction so public player can't get out. And off of that, it is a 4 for 2. They didn't get the tower mid. Ults were used, but that's a big win for Toronto. If you look at the net worth, they are now at 7,500 net worth advantage and over 10k XP advantage because of how well they've been playing these maps and these, I guess that last fight, all the ones before that weren't that great. But that's alright.
It was so big they killed the Warlock before he could get his ultimate off, and he didn't have his Glimmer available because he's used it to try to get this high ground ward up. And even then, they had a sentry ready.
And it's a little bit questionable to push the high ground that early, like you were saying beforehand. They just felt pressured to do so. They didn't even take the time to do Ro16 because Silence was down. But now mid lane, they use the global blink initiation like we were talking about earlier. They get OD almost immediately before the Silence stun even runs out. And then they get Warlock, who's just in a little bit too far with no escape mechanism. And now the tides have definitely turned. Despite this early game, the farm being in favor of Toronto, they are losing in the towers, but now with that team fight mid and that last pick off there, they are probably going to be in just full control of the map.
Surprised they didn't go for Ro16 there.
Neither team,
so
yeah.
fast.
Both teams have pretty good ways to do so. I guess the Arcane Orb on OD doesn't do, you know, any damage to Ro16 anymore, so they only have the Juggernaut to do the Roche damage. They are still okay at it.
Jug's gonna get a solo kill there onto the Silencer. And they might catch the Centaur here as well. They get them imprisoned as his ultimate goes
Centaur's
off.
Dead. But once again, I don't know if this is going to be enough. They might go back for Ro16 here.
I think they're running down mid.
Yeah.
They did some damage to the tower. They don't have the fastest Ro16 lineup. And if Alchemist just runs in there, send some Antilusions in as well. It's just gonna slow them down.
I guess
I'm
there
sure you
aren't
can
the
do the same
ults.
against high ground, but this tower is a lot less tanky than Rosh.
Also a lot more dangerous at the same time. They do have nice wards inside the base. They had the one on the left side from the last push. Now they get on the one on the right. It gets dewarded immediately, but they still have the left side ward. There is the blink initiation from the Slardar and Lifestealer. They don't manage to burst down the Darkseer that time. They get the
Nice
Fatal Golems.
combo.
And that's actually going to be 4 down right there. They get the wall, Fatal, or the Link, and what's it called? Fatal Bomb.
Oh, they forced the buyback from the Alchemist. That's huge. Centaur didn't want to buy back because he had 2 seconds left.
And there's
Jug
a
needs to just
Basher.
get himself out now.
Yep,
They just need to get out, and that's a huge win.
The Basher and the lifesteal there almost got a kill. Now they're
wants
actually
to
going to
fight.
overcommit. OD is staying a little bit too long. He will end up going down. The TPs are going to try to get out here from the supports. They both barely get away from this Centaur. Now Juggernaut's limping away at 100 health.
Alright, they only lose OD. Could have been a lot
okay.
worse.
Yeah.
Jug went down there as well. But
If-
forcing that Alchemist buyback,
If
he's
they
not
left
going to have
with
his
OD,
next item for a while. But I think they just walk into raw share and do it.
if they left
where
with
is it?
OD a little bit earlier, that would have been a huge win for CMU. A blink stun from Centaur. They will catch out Juggernaut here. They will try to kill him with the global, but he'll just manta it off and sprint away. Centaur ult also being committed. He is now very low. The lift will come out and throw him back.
What was that?
That was...
Did he get vacuumed there? How did
Yeah.
he?
You got vacuum, maybe the pipe, the active from the hood
Oh, yeah, the
negated the
pipe.
damage from it, so you can
Oh.
still blink as long as you don't take damage. And now maybe U of T will finally go to Ro16. They're running right by it, but no, they're not committed. They just used the global silence and the Centaur ult to try to get a pick off on Jug, and with that falling through, they're not feeling too confident anymore.
Well, I think for CMU, push out the waves, go mid.
Yeah, they have a chance now. I was being a little pessimistic earlier on, but with that last mid push being so nice, with them not losing,
They're
the
gonna go
Darkseer
for
at
a
the
smoke
start.
first, look for a kill. And that's what really opened up that mid lane for them, getting that kill onto the Centaur.
They are going to run into Slardar here. Slardar has Blink, but does not react in time, so he will get imprisoned up. He will get spun down before the stun will come out, and he is not long for this world. He is dead right away. They might just go right into Roche Pit here. They have the wards placed up on high ground. They have the knowledge of where Alchemist is, because he just showed bottom.
I actually think they can't rush this game. It's too hard against Alchemist. He just sends his illusions in there and one at a time, and with that mischance, you can't really just... or you can if you have the right lineup to do it, but for CMU, the OD doesn't do that much damage to Roche anymore. The Jug, he hits kind of hard, but not hard enough to take it out in time. So instead, they're going to run down mid. Backdoor protection gonna be online now.
Yeah, the Juggernaut was protecting the creep wave in the meantime because Alchemist sent illusions at it. He was the only one who stayed back, so it was a little bit stalled up. And now
Thing
they're
is, they
just
do
going to
have
try to
global
push again.
silence in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, if CMU stays a little bit too long, overcommits, they might
Fast
end up going
reactions
down
by the
here.
Jug.
And now global is up, so this fight could turn very poorly for CMU in the blink of an eye if they get a good blink initiation for the second attempt here. He is still infested.
He's waiting for it.
Yeah.
There you go.
And there's the silent stun combo that we were talking about. They do manage to get the return combo from the side of CMU. The wall up, the vacuum, and Centaur or Warlock Golem drop down.
But Jug doesn't get his Omni off.
It is not quite enough. These heroes are not tanky to in any way to survive this. The stun will come out, and now this Darkseer is the last one alive. He already used the surge. He doesn't have a blink, so if they chase a little bit longer, they would find him, but no, they're just going to kill the creep wave. They're going to be content farming up these waves and just pushing down maybe the lane. Get some return pressure up. So I really like this. I really like the item build from Lifestealer. He went the Deso and then he went the Basher first because they realized if Juggernaut spins, they don't really have a good way to deal with it. And in these past 2 fights, I'm pretty sure he's gotten bashes on a spinning Juggernaut.
Yeah, that bash actually killed Jug as well. He couldn't get his Omni off.
So it's a solid pickup, understanding the state of his team and how they win these fights. And, you know, they're not pressuring it as hard as CMU. They feel a lot more comfortable with this game. They aren't forcing high ground here, despite the ults being used from CMU. Yes, they use their silence for it, but CMU without the vacuum wall golem is a lot weaker than them. But they're okay with the scaling. They know they outscale. They know there's no pressure on them. There will be a smoke gank coming out of CMU. They will only catch death, though. And a silencer without those ults by himself, lowest net worth, that is not a, important kill.
Well, it's a kill regardless, and it looks
Yeah.
like they want to go Roshan now. But they know what's going on the side of U of T. They have a ward, and I think they can contest pretty easily. But
I, I
Alchemist just TP to base though.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna bother. Even if they get Aegis here, like these last few fights have been so convincingly held for the side of Toronto. I don't know if there's a better word than held, but they've been so, you know, cleanly defended that if Juggernaut has a second life here, that's not going to turn the tides of the fight because
They
they're
might
getting
try
on the back
still.
line so well.
Thur gonna try to blink in and go for the steal. Does not come in time. Comes too late actually.
But it's okay. They have the silence. They have the Alchemist there. He's tanky enough to tank up that Juggernaut ult. And now that's going to be OD going down, Darkseer going down. They will get a return kill onto the Silencer, but now Jug goes down with the Aegis, and he has no escape. He's already used his spin. I guess it's up again, a short cooldown, but... Centaur with the reinitiation blink stun. He will catch Warlock. This heal will be on him, so they will heal up as well. A secondary blink stun from Slardar, and this is just the strength of this dual stunning draft. You just have constant initiation and reinitiation with these two. And now if they get a bash here, yep. Alchemist popped his Manta about 2 seconds early to Manta dodge his stun, but not a big deal. He's going to send Illusions down mid. He's going to TP to that other lane, so they're going to get pressure on 2 tier 3s at the same time. And Juggernaut doesn't have buyback. Warlock doesn't have buyback, so it's going to be a 3v5 at the very most, or maybe a 2v5 if they don't buy back on Rubik, for the next 20 seconds at least. And now they're going to kill public player here. That Surge won't get him away from the stun. They're going to lose the 2. They're a little bit hasty on the defense trying that 2v5. And they get punished for it. That's 1 Rex going down. Mid lane is also going to go down almost assuredly. This OD has buyback. I'm surprised he's not using it. Maybe they've already conceded, a little bit defeated in their morale, but...
This game just felt like CMU wanted to just go all in.
Yep. I think they understood. They don't outscale. They don't. I guess OD does do okay in the late game, and so does Jug, but they can't compete with the farming speed of all these players. Considering they grouped up as 5 so early, they knew that Toronto was just getting more out of the map, and they had to, you know, all in for that mid push multiple times, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I think it all started with the choice of just going down mid to try to get that kill. If that really worked out for them, or if they chose a better lane to gank, maybe the Lifestealer. He is hard, he has rage, but at that point, going for that mid, not getting anything done there, the Jug, that's when he really fell behind. And after that, they just felt pressure to just go, 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 go. They ran down the lanes, took a lot of towers, but at the same time, Alchemist was just farming. The fact that they did kill him and force him to buyback was huge there. But once again, the OD stuck around for a bit too long, ended up dying, and he's having a pretty hard time scaling himself.
Yep, CMU going for a last-ditch effort smoke here. They do get it popped on the Slardar, and this time he has the reaction speed to get away from it. And it's a little bit, I wouldn't say obvious, but it's more obvious than not because this bottom lane is pushed in uncontested, mid lane is pushed in uncontested. That smoke wasn't the most sneaky of plays. And now the TP out from Warlock will get stunned by that Innovation Slardar. And it looks like he's going to go down once again, no buyback. OD is in very deep.
Hex on the Hulk.
He has a Hex? Oh,
yeah.
I like that. You almost never see this picked up. Everyone always goes to Shivas, but I don't think he has any fear of dying this game right now, so he's just like, okay, I'm going to go for the aggressive item here. And he's comfortable with Lifestealer and the Centaur outputting all the damage while he just does the control and annoyance. So, how does CMU do it? Can they do it, or is this game as good as done?
I'd say it's just 99.999% over.
Yep.
They're still sticking in for it for now.
I didn't look at the net worth before I said that. The net worth is 30,000 ahead in their favor. The XP is 30,000 ahead in their favor. That is almost I would say that is an insurmountable comeback, unless Toronto almost intentionally throws.
They can literally afford to just all run 5 into the pool, and they'd still be pretty okay.
The one bright side from CMU is because these net worths are so high on Toronto, any sort of kill will give them a nice gold swing. So there is a chance that they hold high ground just like Toronto did, but it's a much tougher situation for them than it was for Toronto, 5-10 minutes ago.
Maybe this is some type of next level build from the Alchemist because he doesn't want to make the Darkseer illusion stronger, so he just gets a Hex.
Yeah.
He's also sick of getting his int stolen from the OD. He's like, you think you're smart? I'm smarter. I just bought a Hex.
Yeah, he actually has a bigger mana pool than the OD does.
Yep.
That's pretty funny. I mean,
Just
he
wants to
has
see the
an
OD
Octarine Hex. Like, that's just so
doing
much
nothing
mana.
to him. Oh man, look at his int. He
When
has
you're a strength
significantly
hero.
amount more.
Yeah, when
he
you're
has
a strength
significant
hero.
amount more int than OD.
No, but I was gonna say when you're strength hero and that's your highest stat, that's pretty funny.
And not to mention, the Silencer has stolen some of Dyer's int as well.
There is an attempted initiation here from the Centaur, but he will get his stun dodged by the Force Staff from OD. Pretty good reaction there. But I don't know. I think they're fine with this. Every once in a while these pokes by Centaur just kind of popping his head in because it's leaving CMU trapped in their base, and there is zero way that they come back from this 30k net worth farm when they can't even farm a creep wave safely.
What I'm really surprised about is Toronto not just going for it.
They want to play it safe. There's nothing wrong with that. This game is, or this match, I should say, is an elimination match. The winner of it goes on to a round of 8, which is the last game before the LAN qualifiers or LAN finals in Toronto. So they don't want to risk it. It's just a little bit of safety to secure this win. There's no rush. And now another smoke gank. If the last one wasn't all in, this one has to be because the lanes are so far pressured into them. If they fail this smoke gank, or if they die during the smoke gank, even worse. It's probably going to be the end of the game. Looks like a little bit miscommunication. They'll double sentry up the cliff. They won't find anybody, and they have to go back to defending. I think the same thing happened there as it did last time. With these lanes pushing in and none of CMU showing, Toronto just sniffs out this smoke and they just all back up. Lifestealer was pretty close to it, but now he just backed off into his own jungle, his own safety by his team.
Centaur has an Ags now, gifted to him by the Alchemist.
Yeah, that's something we didn't really mention earlier, but an Ags upgrade on most of these heroes are pretty nice. Yes, the upgrade on Lifestealer isn't, important. The upgrade on Slardar does literally nothing, but these bonus stats just to stop the burst combo from CMU, this teamfight burst, if you have an extra 600-700 health, it's going to be a pretty tough thing to deal with.
Man, imagine they buff the Lifestealer Infest so it has more range, or cast range.
No, you just eat somebody from halfway across the fight.
Port Lifestealer, eat your carry, save him, spit him back out.
Centaur is just so tanky, he just walks into the base casually with nobody behind him. There will be a reinitiation here from U of T. They get the kill onto the Warlock, they get a kill onto Jug, who does have buyback, so he could come back in, but without Warlock Golem here, it's looking like an end of the game, and they're just going to call GG before this fight even concludes. They realized hope is lost, and once Toronto finally pushes the base, that will be that. Game 1 going decisively in favor of Toronto there. What do you guys say?
And they didn't play the cleanest game. It was just their draft putting so much pressure onto CMU that they just felt pressure to go run down lanes. And just a couple of solid defenses is all they needed to really secure the victory.
Yeah, game ended at a 40,000 net worth and just under a 40,000 XP advantage.
They got a couple of nice smoke ganks off, but I would definitely say it was just really their draft. I think next time around, CMU definitely not going to give them the Alchemist.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Alrighty, well, with Game 1 finishing, Toronto is at a 1-0 lead. If they, this is a best of 3, so Game 2 will be starting up shortly. We will be back to you with the draft just after a quick plug from our sponsors. Thank you for watching. Once again, I'm Zingle. This is Hachiko. See you in a minute.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.